Hello, Susie.
Good morning.
Good morning. The main computer will work this morning. We are live, by the way. The main computer won't work this morning, so I'm fumbling around, but I've managed to get us both live on air.
Okay.
So there we are. Well done, us. Budget day. Oh ho ho ho. Now, I just
I can't hear you. Oh, that's it.
sorry.
I couldn't hear you then, but I can now.
All right, okay. Now, what are you expecting in the budget? Let me take my coat off. Let me go to work. I spent 3/4 of an hour trying to get things to work this morning. They just.
I think that's probably the start of most people's day, Keith.
Yes.
Of course, I spent about an hour trying to get myself to work. I think by 11 o'clock, I might be working myself.
But now, I was just talking to Dick.
Yeah.
And he says,
Hi, Jack.
He's busy with deliveries. 2 deliveries.
Good morning.
Up at once this morning. We're surrounded by beer. It's absolutely wonderful.
Can I swap places? I think I need a beer. Watching looking at the headlines today.
Yes. Deck says that it's likely that the beer is going to go up 20p a pint. Now,
Yeah,
I know that you're a very moderate drinker, but
you better. I'm not.
I think we're all going to have one last drink today. How do you feel about the headlines are, oh, I'm going to cut so much off income tax, and so 2p off income tax, but I'm going to slap 20 pence on beer. I mean, what sort of news is that?
Your volume fades in and out, but to be honest with you, I looked at the headlines and I just laughed. I just went, oh, here we go, another chimpanzee's tea party. Let's increase the price of alcohol because we all need to drink alcohol to deal with what's on the front pages of the news today.
Yes, I know. It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, it really is quite silly.
Yeah. I think if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what else? Looking at the headlines, £900 tax cut is a 2p of national insurance for more prosperity. Does that impact on you?
Not at all. That's why I'm just laughing. Honest to God, it's just a farce now. I don't think they really understand the demographics of the nation that they are controlling. I'm self-employed, so no impact on me whatsoever, apart from I have to spend more money on other things. And in terms of like it's the poorest people, people on benefits, it's going to impact on them. Pensioners, I just think, I don't know. I'm just gonna sit in the corner and laugh.
Yeah, they live in a bubble, don't they? These people in Westminster.
Haven't got a clue. Not a clue. They're basing it all on their own status.
Yeah.
And not really taking into consideration the demographics. I mean, what sort of world are they living in? Well, I know what sort of world they're living in. It's just a public school playground, basically.
Do you know, for years, I've fought against the idea of elitism. But I've come to the conclusion that I particularly in the last half decade, we have gone right back there. I mean, personally, I think it starts with the silly amounts we pay people in television. Not us.
I was going to say,
But also footballers. I mean, it is just ridiculous. A young man of 19 or 20 gets paid £50,000 a week or something of the sort, just for kicking a football around. Yes, he's skillful. Yes, a lot of people watch them, but I mean, it is totally out of context. And the
Totally.
people who are around them is just ridiculous.
And also that age, they don't know what to do with money. I think then it just goes. Well, I guess it just goes straight back into the economy, doesn't it? Because they go and spend it on ridiculous things
Yes, they
you don't actually need in life.
Yeah, as if you need 10 Aston Martins, you know.
So I've got 11. And a couple of speedboats in the garage.
Mind you, I have to say, my darling, you are worth huge amounts of money to. Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do with it, to be honest with you. Yeah,
nor me.
They're just numbers to me. If I had like £1 million in my bank account, I'd be a bit like, oh, well, maybe I could buy a posh chicken in Waitrose or something.
Actually, chances are
because the posh chickens are more expensive.
Yeah, we'd move out of the country. It's a negative response.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm just laughing.
Well, that is a serious vein, of course. But what are you expecting in the budget that will actually set you back? And are you expecting anything that will push you forward?
I just wish they could reduce the price on Prosecco again, and then I'd be happy. I've had no expectations of the government for as long as I've been alive. It's never delivered what it is supposed to deliver. So I just have no faith and confidence in it whatsoever. They're all corrupt. They're all in it for themselves. I'm not. I know you're a good name dropper, Keith. But I was at school. Dominic Cummings was in my year at school, and I was only there for a couple of months. But it was a shifty then. He is now. He's disappeared now. But it's just like we're all little puppets being dangled on a string by the Tories and probably everybody else. We're just puppets.
Yeah, I mean, actually, to be quite honest with you, I find it very interesting. On a Monday, Harry Atherton, who lives in France, comes on and gives a view of somebody, a Brit, outside. And he's very, very astute. And he really says that, the political parties have got so far up their own backsides that whatever they do, they don't do it for the electorate. They do it for themselves. They don't realise that they're doing it for themselves. And as a consequence is they are digging a deeper and deeper hole until in the end we're going to say, we don't want you to dig. And there's going to be some form of revolution. Now, I don't think he means pitchforks in the streets, although the French do that, don't they? I mean, the farmers recently have invaded both that country and Belgium with their tractors and their plowshares and so on and so forth. And I can actually see that sort of explosion, which I never thought I would see in this country ever.
So I'm struggling. If your microphone, I can't hear you. It's quite low.
Exactly too. I think that.
It's really just the. Can you imagine all the tractors going on into the Houses of Parliament? That'd be great, wouldn't it? It'd be fantastic. We all turned up with pitchforks and burnt them on a pyre.
Well, the only danger is, of course, that the establishment authority, which is no longer an authority, has allowed young people to race around with knives and to some extent guns. So if people did go onto the streets, it wouldn't be pitchforks. It wouldn't be a peaceful protest.
No,
it would be a dangerous one.
Definitely. And I think, it's like it is it's awful to watch my own country implode. Or is it my own country anymore? I'm just part of but it's going to implode. It's imploding. We're just watching it happen. You don't need a war. We're warring with our own, with ourselves. Well, the government are warring with themselves.
Well, you're right. They're so busy fighting each other on ideology that they've lost the plot that life is very real.
They have, and they've lost the connection with the people. And this is what this country is about: is the people.
Yeah.
So to have the newspapers all dominated with the budget, which is overshadowing like very main stories like the Sarah Everard case and the domestic violence and the abuse against women that is still happening in this day and age.
Yeah.
They're overshadowing all those really key stories. And for the budget, I think we'll all just go, oh, this budget's out, really. Come on, comes out with this little suitcase. It's got his marmalade sandwich, isn't it, really? Not a budget.
Well,
and losing sight of the common people and their stories, what we're actually all going through in this world. And I think we all need that alcohol to deal with those problems.
It is too damn true. Cheers. The other day, James Cleverly was accused of leaking bad news while there was even worse news. So, and in fact, I think that was to do with wasn't it to do with the bad copper?
Yes, is that the Sarah Everard case?
Yes.
The guy who slipped through all of the safety net, all the protocols to become a police officer. I mean, we have got so many checks on backgrounds these days. I mean, how could that even be allowed to slip through the net? Again, yes. Probably lack of resources. There's no people anymore. Nobody's working. Nobody's doing anything.
But I actually question the allocation of resources. I mean, we just see the headlines and the government thinks in terms of we'll just give one-liners and we'll give them about obscure things. But for instance, this business of overseas aid, from time to time it crops up in the headlines as the government is thinking of cutting overseas aid, and then there's a great big uproar, and they don't. Now, I've worked abroad in a number of countries where overseas aid from the British government has been in place, and it isn't that it's misappropriated. It's used in so-called specific functions. The trouble is that the people we send out there to administer it are a bunch of bloody losers. They don't have any idea of what it's all about. And I've sat in groups where people who are supposed to be helping local groups sort of more or less said, this bunch of losers, they'll never amount to anything. This is a waste of money. It is a waste of money, but they're the losers, not the people that are beneficiaries. And it's not just us. The Americans are as bad. The French are as bad. The Germans are as bad. It is a sheer waste of money. You save all that overseas aid and apply it to domestic use, and it will be much better spent. And that's a fact.
It is indeed a fact. And I totally agree with you. But like I say, it's a chimpanzee's birthday party, and they're just sending. It's like a tick box. It's like, oh, we sent somebody there. Tick, done. But
Yeah,
what
that's right.
value did that person or those people add to whatever the situation was? They probably just exacerbated it and made it a lot worse.
Absolutely. I mean, you're spot on. I suppose, really, to say go back to square one and start again is unrealistic. But I think
Sadly so.
I think that any government that had got the country to its convictions, and in its very first year of 4 years, so that people have forgotten it by the fourth year, did that and went back to base operations and started again and got it right by year 4, would actually people would be saying, yes, that's money well spent. But if they don't, just pour it into a black hole.
Yeah.
Just a waste of time. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, I've spent half my life talking to politicians. I don't like talking to politicians very much because most of them have been members of debating societies at elite schools and are very, very clever at making black sound white and vice versa without any substance whatsoever. So you always lose the debate with them. But they talk a bunch of old twaddle, complete and utter twaddle, which is out of step with what's happening in the world. I would much rather talk to a bunch of Eskimos. We don't call them Eskimos anymore. What do we call them? What do we call
Inuits. Inuits.
Inuits, that's it, yes.
Not idiots, Inuits.
Inuits, yes. No, the idiots are the people talking to them. Idiot with an Inuit.
I'd rather talk to a seal, I think.
Yeah, well, you know, the seal would look at you with those great big eyes, and you would think, it's listening. And of course, it hasn't a clue what the hell they're talking about. And I think
at least they're cute.
That's politician.
I'd rather look at a seal's eyes than most of the politicians' eyes.
Oh dear. I unfortunately don't have the facility this morning to look at all the newspaper headlines, so I'm stuck with the Times. So
most of it is all about this budget that we're expecting, the 2% cuts in national insurance.
Well, yes. Well, here's one that you may have some comment on. I only say may. Celebrity horror stories making women scared of the menopause.
Oh. So say that again.
Celebrity horror stories making women scared of the menopause.
Well, just a big sigh. I'm going through. Well, I am 52 and I'm going through the menopause at the moment. So yes, I have the hot flushes, and that's about it, really. I just think suddenly everything is just OTT. No one's told me. My mum passed away nearly 8 years ago, so I'm having to face this unknown waters. And I'd rather the waters were actually unknown, to be fair. At least I don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
I'd rather be thinking I'm heading to the Bahamas and not to the Bermuda Triangle. But I think HRT is a lot of scare about cancer with HRT. So, but like everything's a risk.
Yeah, it's the same with me and Parkinson's. I mean, I've laughed at Parkinson's. I've had it for over 10 years. I've laughed at it and sort of said, tell people, I just tell it to bugger off. Well, I can't anymore. But nobody warned me that suddenly I was going to start to lose my ability to walk or to stand and so on. Well, you know what
Yeah.
I'm like. Is I'd be walking along in my apartment one moment and on the floor the next. Nobody warned me about that. Fortunately, I'm of the disposition, and I still laugh at it, even though it's not at all a nice thing to find yourself. I always think when I'm falling, I always think of the snowman, you know, going through the air.
Yeah.
Splash.
Bless. No,
And then I
I
remind myself of a little dog trying to get up because I haven't learned to land on my back mostly. And then I lie there like that, looking up. I can't do anything about it.
like a turtle on its back.
Yeah, it's almost as if I'm saying, please tickle my tummy. and, and not only that, but I take my spectacles off and I open my eyes. I've got great big wide eyes. Mind you, some people might think I'm the wolf. Oh, Grandma, what big eyes you've got.
Oh, well, I don't want to be. I don't want to be Little Red Riding Hood, though. I don't want to be eaten by the wolf. But I have to make sure I don't. When I wash the kitchen floor, that I actually clean all the soap up. I don't want to make you fall and slip.
I don't think it doesn't make any difference. I don't actually slip. I just go. Woof.
Just go bang.
Yeah. And, I see. I contact my consultant once a quarter, and she listens patiently and says, "Oh, oh, oh, how many tablets have we told you to take? Perhaps we should change the tablets. What do you think?" I say, "What the hell? I'm the victim. I'm not the consultant. I haven't studied the damn thing, and I sometimes wonder whether you have."
Well, do you know what? That's quite personal because my mum always said if you go to the doctors, they give you tablets. You go to a surgeon, they cut you open. So to me, I just think you go in to the doctors, you self-diagnose, and they go, "Oh, well done. Here's some more tablets. Bye bye." I'm like, hang on. You trained for 4 years or however many years it is. You're getting paid a significant sum of money for me to self-diagnose and ask for my own prescription.
Yes. Another
Yes.
area that's got itself out of touch with the public. I mean, I hate to use a chat about the budget to criticize our local surgeries. I have no quarrel whatsoever with the doctors, the nurses, and the support staff. They are all very competent and good and helpful, but the system's bust. I mean, I haven't seen anybody from my local surgery for about 18 months or 2 years, perhaps even longer than that. So how the hell do I know what's wrong with me? Certainly not from my local doctors. They're perfectly capable of telling me face to face, but I never see them face to face. I can't see them. And they've got themselves into where the last time I tried to see somebody is I got there at 8 o'clock and I was told to get there at 8:30, 8 o'clock, and the ladies were just letting themselves in. And they said, "Oh, we don't open until 8:30." And I said, "This system isn't working, is it?" And the one looked at me and said, "It is inside." Is dismissing me, which I'm used to. I don't give a damn about that. But the fact of the matter is indicating the system is working for us. To hell with you, the patient. The system is working for us. And that's the mentality of the thing. The system is working for us, and that is not a healthy situation at all. And I regularly on this program appeal to Jason Heath. He is a surgery practice manager to start to change the culture. You know, good public relations demands that you reflect the culture, and they're reflecting the culture that we don't really care because it works for us. And that's absolutely diabolical. It is worth closing the whole bloody lot down.
The focus is completely wrong, and
yes, that's right.
There's not enough staff. I mean, for example, which is quite shocking to me, and I'll share this. I did go through quite a traumatic experience last year, and the doctor gave me a prescription for a teeny bit of diazepam just to calm down all my nerve endings. Well, that diazepam is still on my repeat prescription, so I could be getting diazepam every month, and that you know, that's very, very dangerous. And if that was in the wrong hands and people were using that to sell, you know, like as a drug, it's a drug.
Yeah.
And it's still on my repeat prescription, which it shouldn't be.
Can you become hooked on this?
Sorry?
Can you become hooked on diazepam?
Oh gosh, yes. It's a very strong drug. I mean, I took half a tablet, and the hallucinations that I had were horrific. So I didn't take it anymore. Didn't do anything to calm me down. Gave me nightmares. So I never. But I'm a responsible person, and I'm responsible for my own health. I didn't take any further medication, but I was quite shocked to see that it's still on my repeat prescription. So if I was a different kind of person, I could just be getting that out each month. I could be hooked on the drug, or I could be selling the drug.
Yes, well, that's a good point. That's a good point. The local surgery becomes the supplier for what do they call it? The black market of
the black market, yeah.
Yes, that's You're raising some very good points this morning, Susie. You're actually waking me up. Incidentally, girls, I'm sorry for getting a substandard picture or substandard sound this morning. It's because the main computer woke up with a headache, and I'm using the iPad, which has limited functions. At least we've got a program to you, even if it isn't 100% what you're used to. So that's why. Don't ask me why. I think the deck had a party here last night. I think the computer must have gone to it and has woken up with the hangover this morning.
Computer says no. Not today. No, thank you.
Now, I'm going to keep talking, Susie. I'm going to see if I can get who is very keen on joining you, and I have to just go away from you for a minute or two.
Oh, might miss you. Don't leave me.
So just keep talking.
Well, I will tell you what I did last night then.
Yes, that's a good one.
All right. Well, I went to see Paul McKenna in Brighton, and he's been on the news a bit. Sort of punted for his new book. So it's all about sort of life coaching and life skills. And I was really hoping to be hypnotized, and very, very disappointingly, I wasn't.
You put yourself up, but he didn't choose you.
Well, not that I'm aware of. But it's very much. I was hoping for a little bit more than just. I mean, a lot of the things that he shared with me are things that I've already worked upon, and self-sabotage and things like that. I've done a huge amount of work on myself, my mindfulness, and watching out for the pitfalls of self-sabotage. And that's thrown around quite a lot. We're all great at self-sabotage, but what I really wanted to know is that once I've overcome the self-sabotage stage and I'm doing really well, it's the saboteurs that come in and sabotage me. So it's how then do you deal with the saboteurs that come and see, oh, you're doing well, but I'd like some of that, and we'll just take you out of the equation. And it's happened to me time after time after time that I've had to pick myself back up again from someone sabotaging me. So I have to watch out for these people. It's like being a bit like in a game, on PlayStation. You think they're your friend, or you think that they've got your back, and then suddenly you're like, "Ow, that stab really hurt." I didn't see that one coming. So I was hoping for a bit more of the next stage. So I guess if people are a few stages behind, it would have benefited them. But for me, I was like, well, I've done all those stages. So I should have been on the stage instead of Paul McKenna. Actually, I should have challenged him. So it was interesting, but very, very, very scripted. Very, there was no room for him to be challenged.
Right.
So yes, that was what I'd spent last night doing.
Now I'm trying to get back to you. I was sent off a an invitation to Philip. Right, I have to get the papers, believe it or not. But getting StreamYard back.
I've got a present for you, by the way, please.
Oh.
I have a combination microwave and cooker for you, which I will be bringing to you on Thursday.
Right.
Very generously donated by a member of the public, and I think that is where we ought to put our focus on, is human kindness.
You think so?
Yeah, he gave it me for free, but I'll charge you 50 quid for it. Am I all alone? I think I am. Oh, he's back. I can't hear him. Mr. Keith, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. You can either all hear Mr. Keith or you can all hear me. But yes, in the background, silence.